The New England Patriots just got a double dose of good news. Let's jump into it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily, pushing out that content to people just like you who can't get enough Patriots football. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment below. Coming out of the bye week, heading into a game on the 15th against the Arizona Cardinals in a tight race in the NFC West to see, are they going to be able to make the playoffs or not? Their backs are against the walls, so we will see what they can do. On today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is, believe it or not, Mac Jones. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mac Jones helping out the New England Patriots, as well a rookie coming back to the lineup, as well some comments from Jerod Mayo, and then a little surprise at the end we're just going to touch on just real quick. So that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Believe it or not, Mac Jones and the Jacksonville Jaguars helping out the New England Patriots. This is one good thing. At this point in the season, yes, you want to see the Patriots go out and compete and do well and see some good things, but also you want them to leverage a good spot in the draft coming up in April in 2025 in Green Bay. And so Mac Jones and the Jaguars won a ugly, just abysmal game. I believe it was 3-0 at halftime. Ugly game against the Tennessee Titans, and that put them to 3-10, tied with the Patriots, but a tiebreaker. We know in London they beat the Patriots, and so they win that tiebreaker, so that puts the New England Patriots third overall at the moment in the draft. Now, a lot of things can happen, but I'm just saying this. From a standpoint of the draft, we know the Patriots were eliminated from the playoffs. There's no way they make the playoffs. So at this point, I'm not saying, I am not an advocate for losing out. Let me be quoted saying that. But I do think, hey, if they can go out and get a higher pick, but at the same time they're trying to compete, they're trying to play their best, then do what you got to do. So Mac Jones, believe it or not, I don't know if you ever thought, hey, Mac Jones would be helping the Patriots, but he is. Comment below on your thoughts on that. Again, who the heck knows who is going to be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Peterson, yes, he made the playoffs a couple years ago, but since then has been on a downward trajectory. Trevor Lawrence got that concussion earlier, I believe last week. And so the question is, where are the Jaguars trending? We know the Patriots easily going to be a top 5 pick, right now sitting at number 3. So whether you like to think it or not, that's good news. Gives them a little more leverage in the draft, being able to say, hey, if there's not someone in that top 5, which I know there's someone in that top 5, probably multiple people in that top 5 that they want, but if that is not the case, they can trade, get more first-round picks. I would prefer them not to do that if they have this high a pick, but again, we will see what they do. So as well, some other good news, Caden Robinson coming back, practiced for the first time in a while after being placed on injured reserve. This is big just because, and this is good news just because, one, as we play these last 4 games against the Cardinals, the Bills, the Chargers, the Bills again, you're going to be able to see this coaching staff and this organization is going to be able to see people like Caden Wallace. Hey, what do you have to prove going into the rest of the season? Are you someone we want to work on, or is this something that it kind of shrug our shoulders and we'll move on? And so Wallace saw 40 snaps at left tackle, 30 as an extra lineman, typically in like a bunch package or something like that. And so when it comes down to it, I think Caden Wallace was the lineman coming into this year out of this class, him and Layden Robinson, that I had the most hope for coming out of Penn State. And he had started pretty much every game at tackle for Penn State. And so he does have a lot of promise. The question is he going to be able to stay healthy? And is he going to be able to prove anything these next 4 games going into the offseason to give us some hope in his position? Now, these 2 things I do think are great news just because, one, again, higher draft pick with the Jaguars win, and then 2, being able to assess this young talent and see what we got and what we have to deal with in the offseason. Again, if Caden Wallace goes out there and he does well these last 4 games, especially against Cardinals, are they going to make the playoffs? They're fringe. Percentage-wise, most likely not after you had a Seahawks win and a Rams win. But then you go up against the Bills and the Chargers, 2 teams that will make the playoffs. And so it will be very interesting to see how they perform. Not only Caden Wallace, but we've talked about Polk, we've talked about Baker, probably Robinson, probably Bell in there. This rookie class, a class that was, I think, at times very promising. Taking out, Drake May, he is dominated. He's done well. He has exceeded my expectations this year as a rookie. But everyone else, just kind of like, you haven't really done anything for me. If anything, it's been underwhelming. So comment below. Tell me what you think about Caden Wallace. As well, we jump into some Jerod Mayo comments, basically being asked what he thinks, quote unquote, being on the hot seat and possibly being, ousted from his job. And we've talked about this a lot in the past couple weeks, but I appreciate his answer. I think there's been times he's said things, and let me say this, said things related to football. I'm not talking about anything else that he has had to walk back at times. I'm not talking about anything, whatever he says, I am talking football. We're talking football on here. A couple people commented like, well, what about this comment? It's like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about football and him coaching this football team. But I respect this comment. He said, I'm not going to get into that stuff. Look here, I guess here I am dancing around this, but I'm here to help the guys in the room, the coaches, and basically win football games. That's the right answer. That's what you should say. Again, say it unapologetically, and then move on. As simple as that. And so a comment from Jerod that I think is great, and I want this to be clear, like, though there was other coaches that I think had more head coaching experience that were available, them taking Jerod, they saw something in Jerod that I think they saw and said, hey, we can develop this and he can be a leader. And I think he is. And I think we need to continue to give him a chance as long as he's the head coach. And so we'll be interested to see what happens moving forward. But again, good for him. Good for him for making that comment and just making it clear. Last but not least, a little treat, just because if you've watched this channel, I love talking college football, and just Bill Belichick kind of talking about college. And he was asked this. He said, let me put this in capital letters. If I was in a college program, it would be a pipeline to the NFL for players that have the ability to play in the NFL, specifically focusing on training, nutrition, scheme, coaching techniques that would all transfer to the NFL. Now, let me be clear. I truly do believe if Bill Belichick went to UNC, I would not be surprised if UNC, especially if the only reason he's going to go is if if UNC says we have the NIL money, name, image, and likeness money, that we can get some people, big time people in the transfer portal. We can, I don't know what the recruiting class looks like, but Mac Brown, we talked about this the other week. He had been on a downward trend with his recruiting classes. If he could get the people he wanted, listen, he wouldn't even have to go out and recruit. He's been to 8 Super Bowls, won 6 Super Bowls. It is hard to argue. He is the best coach in NFL history. If he wants to go play at UNC and go win a national championship, I think he can do that. And so, again, maybe he's just flirting with this idea because, again, if he gets offered an NFL job, I think he's going to jump at that in a heartbeat. And I think he has the ability to take a job possibly somewhere like, again, Jerry Jones, he's older. Like, he wants to see the Cowboys. He wants to prove that the Cowboys can win besides in the 90s, with Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and, all those guys. And so he's been itching for another Super Bowl. And every time, we know that the Cowgirls just continuously choke. You put a Bill Belichick in there, or you put a Bill Belichick in, maybe a team like the Jaguars, or a team that you feel like they get some more pieces and they're organized, they can be turned around. Look at Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. That was a team that was not looking good. He went in there. They have a great quarterback. They have some pieces. They had a great draft, and guess what? They're going to make the playoffs. And so, could Bill Belichick do that to some of these NFL teams? I 100% agree. But I think it would be much harder with some of these teams. So it'll be interesting to see. Comment below, where do you think Bill Belichick's going to end up, UNC or the NFL? Comment below. I want to hear from you. But that being said, whatever you want to talk about, hit me up in the comments. And that being said, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button on your way out. I truly appreciate it. This is Sports Talk Patriots. We'll talk later. Peace.